Okay, I can't stress enough how important it is to let your guitar cure fully before you start with the sanding and buffing. Okay, we're going to start with some automotive sandpaper and just a small bowl of water. Now the sandpaper is a wet or dry 800 grit, 1000 grit,
and then some 1500.
And a 1500 grit. And I want to just tear a few pieces off here that'll fit the sanding sponge that I'm going to use as a sanding block.
Let's soak these in water.
And just cut a few pieces and dip them right in and let them soak in the water. And I'm using a sanding sponge here as instead of a sanding block. The sponge is a lot more flexible and it also holds a little water as well. And any paint supply store should have some sanding sponges.
800 wet.
Okay, we're starting off with the 800 grit paper. Now that it's fully wet. And I'm going to use a little bit of water on it. You don't want to use a whole lot. It's mainly just a lubricant in this application. So, don't just drown the guitar. Just use the smallest amount you need so that the sandpaper goes around smoothly. Just make sure if you have any sort of runs or scratches or nicks, you want to focus on those areas. But we're just kind of going over everything and giving it a little bit of a tooth. Just make sure we don't have any kind of marks or irregularities in the finish. And do the whole guitar, anywhere there's lacquer. I'm going to continue on up around the sides and here in the cutaways. Same thing with the back. And just continue on, and when you're finished with one grit, you want to wipe everything down with a paper towel or some kind of cloth. Double check, make sure everything's nice and smooth, and then move on to the next grit. And just continue up through the three, the 800, the 1000, and the 1500.
Take our old buddy, the tack cloth.
And once you're done sanding, you want to take a tack cloth and just get off any remaining residue from the sanding process. Once you're down to that 1500 grit, there really shouldn't be much to it.
We're going to attach an arbor.
And now we're going to put a buffing wheel. This is one that has an arbor that will attach to the drill. And want to have some polishing compound ready. First, I'm going to tape off the fretboard so that we don't get any of the polishing compound into that bare rosewood. There's a possibility that could leave a little bit of a stain in that rosewood if it were to hit that. And I'm using polishing compound as opposed to rubbing compound. The polishing compound's a little finer, and it's typically also white. Rubbing compound typically has some color to it that I don't want on the guitar.
Better to take a little cloth. Just smear
so I'm just going to take some on a cloth and just rub it around.
Do half
kind of like you'd be putting wax on a car. I'm kind of going to work in a small section here. I'm not going to do sort of dry and leave a hole. I'm going to take the wheel with and I put a lot of pressure here. keep the buffing wheel in motion. You don't want it to sit in one spot. You can see how this is really building up a nice sheen on the surface. Just continue making your way around. Again, keep it in motion, keep it moving around. Decrease friction to get the whole body feel. And you don't have to use a whole lot of compound on this car. If you find that the wheel is, if the buffing wheel is picking it up and sort of flinging it around, you've probably got a little too much on there. Again, you can see the finished back and the sheen that it has. I mean, you should have close to an automotive truck finish. Just have a real light touch, especially on the sides and here on the neck and the headstock. And be sure and keep the drill
got a microfiber cloth.
And once you've got everything buffed out, I'm taking like a microfiber cloth and just wiping everything down, getting rid of any fingerprints, any remaining polishing compounds you might see. And here's our finished product.